Without a shadow of a doubt, I want to welcome you to the Crunkest Show in social media history. In case you're brand new to the scene, it's called the War Zone. And I'm your host, the Five-Star General. We're going to get these settings right. Let's edit these privacy settings. Okay, done. And we're ready to go. I want to say top of the evening to you, man. Tonight is one of them nights where I'm going to get a little loose and I'm going to talk that talk. Got my old school Miller with me. You feel what I'm saying? Got my old school Miller with me. So we're going to talk that talk. In case you don't know, the War Zone is a nonpartisan program where I get to come on and I get to express my views on how I feel. I'm the Five-Star General. I'm a Black Republican, and I ain't got no problem saying that. I ran away from the Democratic plantation a while ago. I got my freedom papers, and I ain't going back. So for those that may be offended by that, you might not want to watch. But for those that rock with me, you already know how I get out. Say, man, there's been some action at the voting polls all week long. You got some haters out there calling the police on their people. My man, not Art Smith, but Aubrey Taylor sent me a picture of a white lady protesting at the polls, and her sign says, GOP is corrupt and crazy, vote Democrat. And this was at the West Gray poll down in Houston, Texas. And we noticed that nobody called the police on them, on this lady. My question is, why you call the police on the black protesters Monday when they got out there? So you can protest the Republicans, but you can't protest the Democrats. And I want everybody to know that they were black protesters protesting against what they consider corrupt judges in Harris County, whether it's criminal, family, or civil. And they got the police called on them by black people. So you saying black people were at the polls today. Why you didn't call the police on the white lady? You know better. Kanye West your ass in a heartbeat. You know, the GOP voters, and if you don't know what GOP is, let me break that down for you also. The Republican voters feel, and they felt this way from the day that it happened, that the 2020 elections were stolen from Donald Trump, that there was mass voter fraud across the country. And I know in Harris County, it definitely was voter fraud. And I don't have to guess that. I proved that. That there was voter fraud all across the country. So now you have, in a lot of different states, GOPs are requesting that Republican voters refrain from voting early and vote on election day. So with me being a Republican, Mr. Five-Star, have you voted yet? No, I haven't. I'll wait till election day. It's a science behind why they want people to vote on the election day. So if you're new to the program, or if you're old, or if you're voting Republican, this is a program tonight for you. So you may want to tag your friends, because I'm going to break it down to you as to why they're requesting GOP voters, Republican voters, to wait until election day. So let's go and pull up this article. And we're going to read it together. Let's go and see. Let's put it in here. Let's make sure we got it. You can see that. Okay, so you can see me. I can't see you. GOP voters told to hold on to mail ballots until election day. Republican activists who believe the 2020 election was stolen from former President Donald Trump have crafted a plan that, in their telling, will thwart cheating in this year's midterm elections. Secure ballot boxes. Ballot boxes are lined up as employees test voting equipment at Miami-Dade County Election Department, October 19th, 2022 in Miami, in advance of the 2022 midterm elections on November 8th. Republican activists who believe the 2020 election was stolen from former President Donald Trump have crafted a plan in their telling will thwart the cheating in this year's midterm elections. As you can see, those are the actual boxes, man. Ballot boxes right there in Miami-Dade County. So let's go through here and read this. Republican activists are asking 2022 voters in the midterm to hold off until election day to do their mail ballots. The strategy: vote in person on election day, or for voters who receive a mail ballot, hold on to it and hand it in at the polling place or election office on November 8th. The plan is based on unfounded conspiracy theories that fraudsters will manipulate voting systems to rig results for Democrats once they have seen how many Republican votes have been returned early. There's been no evidence of such widespread fraud, and I want you to see my face. That's bullshit, because I brought it to the Texas state capitol. There's massive fraud in the state of Texas. So let's keep going. All right. It just slows everything down, says Noah Prats, the former election clerk in Cook County, Illinois, who now advises local election officers on best practices in security. In many places, if you don't get mail ballots in hand until election day, you are not counting them until after election day. Who cares? There's no evidence of widespread fraud. That's a lie. It's tons of evidence out there of cheating and manipulation of voting machines in 2020. Exhaustive reviews in the states disputed by Trump upheld Democrat Joe Biden's win, and legal challenges pursued by the former president and his allies were rejected by numerous judges, including ones that were appointed by Trump. That hasn't stopped conspiracy theories that have spread all over for the last 2 years, fueled by Trump allies, including MyPillow CEO Mike Lindell and a crop of Republican candidates seeking office this year. The calls to hold on to ballots until the last minute have grown louder in recent weeks, according to a review of social media accounts by the Associated Press. It's a lot easier to catch any fraud, Lindell, who has promoted the last-minute voting strategies on podcast, told the AP in a recent interview. Lindell, through various events, has sought to prove that voting machines were manipulated in favor of Biden in 2020. Got to get my Miller in. Trump also weighed in, saying at a recent rally that voting on election day was best because it's much harder for them to cheat that way. Let's go in here. The strategy pushed by conservatives comes after the use of mail ballots soared during the 2020 election amid the COVID-19 pandemic. The end of the pandemic restrictions, Trump's attacks on mail ballots, and new voting restrictions in some Republican-led states has led to a decline in the use of mail ballots this year, but it still remains a popular option for voters. Experts say a last-minute crush of ballots could end up creating delays that can be used by a bad actor to undermine confidence in the election. Let's back up a little bit. It's an opening for people to begin questioning and stroking mistrust and distrust, said Chris Piper, former commissioner of Virginia Department of Elections. Discouraging early voting and encouraging voters to hold on to their mail ballots until election day runs counter to efforts by most campaigns. Republican and Democratic candidates alike typically want to have as many mail ballots in hand as possible heading into election day so they can focus their efforts on getting stragglers to the poll and persuading undecided voters. The dueling approaches have resulted in a confusing array of messages for Republican voters. In Georgia, a recent online flyer by one grassroots group read, voting in person and on election day is the only way to overwhelm the system. The conservative group in the state, Voter Georgia, told its members to protect their votes by applying for absentee ballots early and waiting to deliver them on election day. The chair of the state Republican Party, David Schaefer, recently tweeted on the party's official account, voting in person early is just as safe as voting in person on election day. The cross messaging also is hitting Republican voters in Arizona, which has high stakes races this year for the U.S. Senate, governor, and Secretary of State. Mail voting has been popular there among voters of both parties for years. Senator Wendy Rogers, a Republican who backed a partisan review of 2020 ballots in Maricopa County, told viewers of One America News Network earlier this month that we need to vote on the last day, the day of the election, so they don't know how much to cheat by. I want to stop right there. She's right. I'm going to tell you, man, what they doing down here in Harris County is what it is. They know exactly what they're doing. They count these ballots. They figure out how many they need to get ahead of the game, and it is what it is. I've had it done to me, so I'm speaking as a candidate. I've had it done to me. I've had it. You saw it. If you rock with me every day, you saw it during the last school board election. I told you 3 days before the election, my opponent would come out with 2,800 votes. How do I know this? The day of the election, she came out with 2,859. Say, man, it's not conspiracy on some levels, man. It's the truth. All right. But our party's top candidates who also embrace false claims about the 2020 election have tried to counter that strategy. If you have a mail ballot, I think you should mail it in. I want people to vote. Kari Lake, the Republican nominee for governor, told reporters this month, and vote whatever way you want to vote, but vote. Lake has been among those calling for a rollback in mail ballots and early voting, favoring instead a single day of in-person voting. Blake Masters, the Republican candidate for Senate in Arizona, who's also supported Trump's campaign, said it's fine to vote by mail if that's what a voter prefers. I know results on election night, Masters told reporters earlier this month, I'm telling you, people vote in person if you can. If not, vote early and return via mail and let's know the result. It's unclear whether the messaging of the Republicans to hold on to their mail ballots is having an effect. In two politically important states, the return state for mail ballots is slower than in previous elections. In Georgia, about 23% of mail ballots have been returned with just over 2 weeks before election day, compared to 35% at the same time in 2020, almost 37% in 2018. As of October 19th in Wisconsin, 45% of the mail ballots have been returned compared to 56% at the same point in 2020 and 18. Some Democrats have also advocated submitting ballots at the last minute, but based more on a political strategy than claims of fraud. Let's move this up a little bit. Pam Keith, an attorney, Democrat activist, former congressional candidate in Florida, says she thinks the predictability that Democrats will vote by mail gives Republicans an early hint at turnout level. That's why she's advocating for a surge of ballots at the last minute, catching Republicans off guard. By voting early, we are showing our hand. We show what our turnout number is going to be. And if they know that an overwhelming majority of vote by mail ballots are in, then they know what they need to do to win. Keith's advice strayed from many Democrat candidates who have encouraged their supporters to vote early and by mail. Swanson reported from New York, and Associated Press writers Jonathan Cooper in Phoenix and Scott Bureau in Madison, Wisconsin, contributed to this report. I think that you should do what you want with your ballot. But I also think, hold them. Because honestly, the way they did me down here, if they wasn't looking at the mail ballots, they wouldn't have knew what to send in. Say, man, let me tell you something. I ain't no conspiracy theorist. Like my man Bruce Lee Wynn worked at the polls for me. He got out for me in the streets. We know that 2,800 ballots were going to be unleashed on us. So that bingo stripper can understand, that they asked, what did they do to you? Well, I was running for school board. It was my second time. My opponent was an unknown. Nobody knew this lady at all in our district at all. It was a no-brainer that I'm going to walk away with this win. And finally, the top education advocate in the country would sit on the Houston Independent School District School Board. 3 days prior to the election, the lady who was running against me, her campaign manager, told a judge, they won't tell me what judge, that they were coming out the gate with 2,800 ballots. The night of the election, supposedly the lights went out. Ain't no lights go out. We ain't have a power outage. But normally it takes 15 minutes to drop the first set of numbers on election night. We waited 2 hours and 42 minutes for them to drop the numbers. And when they dropped the numbers, she didn't have 2,800 votes. She had 2,859. Why would I pick that number 3 days before the election? Well, I picked it based on what I heard from her campaign manager. So after the race was over, I took my L. I'm going to go away graciously and do what I do. Her campaign manager was all on Facebook bumping his mouth. See, I ain't the type to start drama. I'm the type to finish. I called him up personally. And basically what I told him was, look here, bro. I can take that L, but what you ain't going to do, you ain't going to rub it in my face. You know what you did, Negro. And you have a history of pimping mail ballots. I know this for a fact. You got your little office, you hire your people, you're doing mail ballots right there in the office. Yeah, I know this for a fact. So I let this Negro know that if you keep bumping your mouth, acting like you did something extraordinary, we're going to have a conversation. I ain't heard nothing from that man since last November. Nothing. Because I meant what I say, and I say what I mean. So those out there that feel that election fraud is not real, that's bullshit. I went to the Texas State Capitol. I think it was last year during the summer. And I challenged the committee that was over election fraud. I came with flash drives, envelopes for everybody with election fraud in it. I bet you won't stick that flash drive in your computer. Trust me when I tell you, not one Democrat stuck that flash drive in that computer, because the election fraud was finna pop up on your screen. Like you watching me, it was finna pop up on your screen. They never did it. And I'm going to be honest with you. It took me a long time to understand what they were doing. It took me a long time to figure it out. It took me a long time to put a team together that we could work cohesively with to figure all of this out. The voter harvesters, the guys that do the voter fraud with the mail ballots, 99% of them have been called in to do what do they call that? They had to go in and do sworn statements. They were interviewed live on camera. They called me in. I know, I'm watching them. I'm in the lobby. I see these people who've been accused of this. Yeah, all of us got called in over the summer. And these people are on pins and needles, and you should be on pins and needles right now. Because by an overwhelming majority of Republican voters not turning in those mail ballots, it's easier to figure out what you're doing. It's easier to pinpoint it. It's easy. But see, now the problem is once we prove it again, will the DA, District Attorney of Harris County, do anything about it? I doubt it. I doubt it. And you want to know why? Because on her campaign finance report, the voter harvesters worked for her too. So if they work for you, if they have a history of doing this type of stuff, if they're being interviewed by private investigators and law enforcement, deposition, and they have to do depositions, why would you hire these people? You know what they have a history of doing. That's like dropping your kids off at R. Kelly house. Exactly. It's like dropping your kids off at R. Kelly's house. So my thing is, and I was on the podcast today, and I'm going to start putting the link up for you guys on RagingElephantsRadio.com. And one of the questions was today, is voter fraud real? Is cheating in elections real? Yes, it is real. But see, here's where I think the problem came in at. The Republicans have been knowing that the Democrats were cheating on elections. As long as they stayed in the black communities and messed over us, it was cool. But then when certain Democrats got into high-powered positions, they started screwing the Republicans. And that's when it became a problem. That's when it really became a problem, because as long as you was doing it to your people, we didn't care. They knew what was going on, but they didn't care. But once it started happening to them, the house was on fire. The house was on fire. So yes, voter fraud is real. I don't care what they say. We done found it. We done caught it. We done exposed it. So ain't no way you can call us crazy. It ain't no way you gonna look me in my eye and call me a MAGA Negro. Ain't gonna happen. I don't know what that means. What I know is I am in the United States of America, and my democracy has been played with. Democracy includes me too. And everybody else may not stand up and say what they feel, but I would rather die on my back than to ever live on my knees. And I'm going to stand up for mine if nobody else and their mama stand up for theirs. I promise you that's how I'm built, and I'm not going to change. Kristen Martin had made a great comment. She said, both sides cheat. Candidates are pre-selected. without a shadow of a doubt. They know who they want in office. Both sides, they work together. They're the uniparty. They work together. And I want to tell y'all something. Kristen Martin and her husband, Jeff, their beautiful girls, have become like family to me. And I think it would have been that way regardless if I didn't switch parties, but just so happened I switched to the party that they are a part of. So people walking around telling you that these white Republicans are racist, when the last time they've been around them? Because whenever I go out to Kristen's house to hang out with her and her husband and her girls and sit by the pool and drink a couple of beers with Jeff, I've never been called out of my name. It's many days that she said, man, just come on out here and just hang out. Y'all can spend a night. You can spend a night. You can do whatever you want. I've never been treated indifferently. If anything, I've been embraced. And see me, I'm that guy that won't go away. I'm just not running for office. And then when I lose, I go away. I'm in this for real. So I'm going to keep running until I win something. And eventually I will. So, it is what it is. So those that are telling you how white people are, if you got such a problem with white people, stop working for them. Those of you that don't own your own companies, those of you that getting multi-million-dollar contracts, if you're going to cut white folk off, cut them all off. But to think that voter fraud is not real because it's white people saying it. See, white people have a problem right now. And I get it with what they're going through. Anytime they bring up an issue and there's some validity to it, they want to scream that they're racist. They want to scream that they're racist. And you know what's so crazy? Y'all ain't got no problem with them racists when you go to them Christmas parties. Did you have a problem with them racists when you was out there in the middle of the street protesting for George Floyd? You have selective amnesia when it comes to racism. Now, everybody ain't good people. Just like they got racist white folk, they got racist black folk. You got white folks that don't like black people. You got black folk that don't like black people. Me, I like people. And I really don't care what color you are. If we and Jeff can sit in that backyard and drink these old school Millers, God damn it, he's my type of guy. And I'm his type of guy. If we can sit in that backyard and drink these old school Millers and eat crawfish, he's my type of guy. And I'm his type of guy. But when my sister called me and tell me, don't you vote early. You vote on election day. You can be rest assured when Kristen told me, and I was going to vote the next day. I haven't done it yet. I'm not going to do it until election day. I'll get to a poll about 6:30 that morning, and I'll go stand at that door for 30 minutes, and as soon as they open, I'll go cast my vote. That's what I'll do. There is massive cheating. And here's my thing. I really don't give a damn if you cheat. But when you cheat and win and don't do shit for my community, we got a motherfucking problem. We're going to move some furniture on this one. We got a problem. If you got to cheat to stay in office, then goddamn, at least do something for us. But that's okay. They're not going to do nothing for us. So I'm going to tell you what, man, I ain't been running no full hour on the war zone. I'm not going to run a full hour. I got a lot going on. I got some homework to do, got a couple of tests to take. I'm inches away from my bachelor's degree in criminal justice because I want to send somebody to jail. all of y'all out there with all that foolishness and stealing from kids in the school system and all this stuff you're doing, you better pray I don't get a law degree. Because if I do, I want to help prosecute your ass to the fullest. You better pray I don't. I want to tell y'all this weekend there's something great going on. It's homecoming for my alma mater in high school, Jackie A. Senior High School. And if you don't know who that is, you probably been sleeping under a rock. It's the world famous Jackie Yates High School, the only Jackie Yates in the world. And it's homecoming weekend. I'm inviting all of the alumni to come out to the game. We tailgating early, they're going to start, and they normally feed the boys after the game. I want you to come on out, man. Have a good time. If you ain't never been to a Yates homecoming game, you better get there early. Game start at 6. I recommend you be in the parking lot at 3. Ain't going to be nowhere to sit. They're going to close the gates down. And that's what it is. And along the way, we play our arch rival. The Phyllis Wheatley Wildcats. And I think we're going to stone cold Steve Austin their ass. We're going to pull a rock on them and we're going to turn our foot sideways and put it square up their candy. But we're going to have a good time. And we're going to support a community where only 1 of 6 all-black high schools is left in the state of Texas. Show up, hang out with us, man. Let's just do it. Say, man, I think people worrying about what white folks gonna do to them and all that. Man, I'm not worried about nobody. I keep my eye on everybody. More importantly, y'all that's out in the voting world, in the politic world, I got my eye on y'all right now. I know some things. And I ain't gonna tell you. I just know some things. And I'll be at the voting polls every day. Don't start no shit, won't be none. Because just like you got friends, I got friends in high places too. Don't make me Charleston white your ass. So to everybody that's deciding this year that they're going to vote for some Republican candidates, don't vote until Election Day. I'm going to preach this sermon all the way up until Election Day. Let them go and do what they need to do on the Democratic side. It will expose them for all their worth. If I can, I'm going to see if I can pull up the voting totals for tonight. Let's see how we're looking right now. Let's see how we're looking. Hold on a second. All right, here we go. Okay. All right, so we're going to go check the totals live tonight. Let me see if I can put you in the mix with it. Okay, let's go and see if they got the numbers already up. See, it's 8:06, so the numbers should be up. Let's see. You can see that. Let's go live. We're going to check these numbers live. Let's see if the numbers up. They ain't up. They cheating. It don't take but a split second. So we're going to go to early voting. And looks like the numbers are not up. Wherever y'all got this new election administrator from, this Negro trash. So why aren't the numbers up? Let me go back. Why aren't the numbers up yet? So let me go in here. I got to close this down so that you can see. So now we'll go back. We'll share the page. And we're going to look at end of day voting totals. Is today Wednesday or Thursday? I think today is Thursday. And as you can see, let's make it bigger. The numbers for Thursday have not dropped yet. Where the numbers at? And y'all gonna tell me they not cheating in Harris County? Say, man, the polls been closed for an hour. So I can imagine on election night, we're not gonna know nothing for maybe 24 to 48 hours. This dude that y'all went got that fucked up the DC elections as the election administrator, you done brought him down here to Houston. And man, it is what it is. But I'm gonna give y'all something. I'm having fun tonight. I'm gonna give y'all something. I'm getting ready to run for something else. And I want everybody who wants to be on the team. When I announce it, I want you on the team. And if you want to join Team Monroe, then I'm going to tell you what we got to do. Because we're going to start early. That's how I gave them hell in the school board race. We started early. And we're going to kick ass. I see my good friend John W. Branch Jr., black conservative. Love him to death. If he was a black Democrat, I'd love him to death. He's just a great guy. Doesn't matter to me your political affiliation. But some people at the polls got a problem with the black Republican. Well, you better have a problem with your mama. Don't bring your problem to me. I had to check one of them people working the polls the other day. You might have a problem with your mama, but don't come to me with it. Because my understanding is zero. I don't take my meds every day. If I'm off my meds, blame it on ADHD. But I'm going to tell you, man, we're getting ready to unleash on this next campaign run. And we're going to raise about $300,000. We're going hard in the paint. And it is what it is. I want to make sure that you know that you should, if you're in Fort Bend, I need you to support my good friend Trevor Nelms for Fort Bend County Judge. I need you to support my man over in Fort Bend. You feel what I'm saying? I need you to support my girl, Melissa Wilson, running against Grady Prestige. The only way we're going to be able to get some things straight, we got to put some decent people in office that don't have character issues, that don't have integrity issues. And in Fort Bend, Melissa Wilson and Grady Prestige, Melissa Wilson and Trevor Nelms are my guys. Over in Harris County, Judge Angela Graves Harrington. Support this sister, man. She's done a very, very good job. She's done a very, very good job on the bench in family court. And honestly, she's a Democrat, and this is a nonpartisan program, so don't get it twisted. And she's one of those that I'm going to support. You know, it is what it is, man. I'm not supporting everybody, but I'm going to support the ones that I feel are good for people that will work for every single Texan in their city and county. And if they're statewide, they're going to work for every single Texan in the state of Texas. If that's not their goal, then it is what it is. Kirsten asked me, is KP George under criminal investigation? Multiples. Why are you going to vote for somebody that might be going to penitentiary in Fort Bend? Your county judge is under investigation. He had a contract out there like Lena Hidalgo had. Come to find out, the girl that had the contract, Shakira Dennis, was submitting fraudulent timesheets. Fraudulent timesheets. Bingo Dick asked me, what are your qualifications for an endorsement? You're asking me, what does it take for me to endorse you or the candidate? I do my research. I actually do my research. And if I feel that they are the best person for that particular position, then I will endorse them. And my endorsements for years didn't carry no weight. But now they do. You know why? Because everybody caters to a community. I'm an African American, so I cater to the African American community. And I want to make sure that they know who they should support. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's hard to get an endorsement from me. But if you've done the work and I believe in you, I'm going to endorse you hands down. And I will tell people that nobody pays me for an endorsement. I'm not like the Texas Coalition of Black Democrats taking folks' money, lying. I can deliver black votes. I can deliver them for one reason, because my African American community knows that if some of these people don't support me, then I don't care. But if they have some of the same qualities I have, then it is what it is. Bingo Dick, you're asking me a question. Do you have many followers? I have multiple social media accounts. Everything that you can think of, just pick you one. Followers on TikTok, over 300,000. One Facebook account, and I got 35,000 followers. Yeah, I got quite a few that listen. I got quite a few that have learned how to start their own businesses listening to me. I got quite a few that just enjoy the commentary, the people that I have on the show. And we've had everybody from politicians to the cussing pastor. Everybody. Because they love me. Truth Social, didn't know about that, but I'll look it up tonight and we'll get on there. I'm even on Clubhouse. I'm everywhere. When I have the time, then it is what it is. But if you want to join Team Monroe, we're going to get past this election, win, lose, or draw. And then I'm going to build a monster. And we're going to go out there and we're going to do what we do. But in the meantime, I've given you your feel for the night. If you're a Republican, if you're an independent, just trust us on it. Don't vote until election day. If you got a mail ballot, don't vote and turn it in until election day. Leave them out there pissing in the wind by themselves. Thunder said, now watch this. Did you know your show is the reason why I voted for Carmen? When she came on the show and spoke with you, that sealed the deal for me. Thanks, 5-star. And you know what? I want to take a picture of that and send that to Carmen, because I want her to understand that that's what it takes. That's what it takes, man. We got our own social media platform. I got my own. I don't even, you can get the news from here and get it from, a reliable source. Trust no. What's good, 5-star? Man, I'm good, man. I'm breathing. Had to get a shot in my knee yesterday because I got a bad knee and I need knee replacement. But that's okay. They gave me a gel shot. And the old knee got me feeling like I can run a marathon today. You see what I'm saying? So I'm doing pretty well, man. But my focus is school right now. And if you guys want to come to graduation, you let me know. I'm graduating from Lamar University next year with my bachelor's in criminal justice. And at that point, I will make a decision of what I'm going to do next, whether I'm going to go for my master's, my PhD. I can go around my master's to get to my PhD. or if I'm going to go straight to law school. I don't know yet. But I will honestly tell you that I will make that decision. Thunder says no Dems will come on your show, but she did, and I was impressed with that. Yeah, I mean, Carmen came on the show, and Carmen just kind of blew people away when she came on the show. And let me see if these election results are back up. Hold on a second. Let's see. Early voting. Nope, they're not up yet. So you know it's cheating going on. I love you guys to death. I got to get to it. I got work to do, homework. And as usual, it's the war zone. And I'm the 5-star general. Until tomorrow night, I'll holler at you.